Hi there everyone, my name is Christian Eschbach and welcome to another one of my album reviews. This is being recorded on June 27th as I prepare for Rammstein. Alright, I had to have a moment there. So here we go. The very first review, the very first album. Herzeleid. I'm gonna apologize in advance because my German sucks, so my enunciation is gonna really suck on some of these. And this is most definitely going to take a little work for me to do some justice to, so bear with me, alright? Alright. So, I'm gonna get into, I have English lyrics up in front of me. For every one of these songs, I have English lyrics up in front of me, so I can get into the English side of it. The reality is the English side is wonderful most of the time. I don't care if I can understand what's going on, because this stuff is heavy. Oh yeah, man. Alright, so, this was not the first album I picked up from Rammstein. No, it was not. It was, in fact, the second album I picked up from Rammstein. The first album I picked up was Sensucht. Now, this album in North America basically didn't exist until after Sensucht, okay? Yes, it was over here in theory because David Lynch used the song Rammstein itself, which is the last track on this album we will get to, in the Lost Highway soundtrack, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, but I believe that's on the Lost Hunt. That's the one that got used in the movie. And that's what helped bring them over here. But like everybody, it was Du Hast that got me introduced back in the 90s, okay? And I have been with Rammstein ever since then, and I picked up this album and went, whoa. Now, I'm not a fan usually of heavy digital kind of electronic-y sounding music, and when it's mixed with metal I usually kind of go, ooh, like, you know, I respect Nine Inch Nails. I'm not a Nine Inch Nails fan. I like Marilyn Manson, I like Rob Zombie, but I didn't like White Zombie when I found that it always seemed a little more digitized and kind of processed, which, at least, especially compared to later Rob Zombie solo albums. So, you know, White Zombie was never quite my thing. It always felt a little too digital. And then Manson, I know, heavy on the digital side. But same thing, you know, I always preferred the stuff with Manson that seemed a little less digital, a little more hard, heavy, and rock. You know what I'm saying? That being said, let's butcher some song titles, okay? My name is Eschbach, alright? And still, my German sucks, you know. My French is barely better, and I was born in Montreal. Sadly, English is the tongue that I was raised in, and the rest of my speech, oddly, I can do Spanish half decently. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. Wird der Bett in Flammen sein? I know I totally said that wrong. Alright. Do you want to see the bed in flames? This is one of those songs that does not quite translate over the same way. Because this would be, realistically, Alice Cooper's Bed of Fire. If you really want to think about, or House of Fire, sorry. House of Fire or Bed of Nails. Bed of Fire, duh. Okay, House of Fire or, House of Fire would be our you know, yeah. Either one of those off the Trash album, okay? Same idea here, but when you translate it into English, it sounds a lot more, I want to say almost sinister-ish a little bit. Not quite the same, you know. it's weird. You know, for example, you know, very simple. Do you want to see the bed in flames? Do you want to perish in skin and hair? Do you want to stick the dagger in the sheets as well? You want to also lick the blood from the sword? You know, so it does not sound as cool as when you listen to it in German, man, because those German words are like, yeah! I am not trying to do the German. Not having it. Either way, this album kicks it off huge. And then the outro at the end of it is just repeating the words Rammstein over and over again with music that gets really heavy. Now, this is really important. And normally I know I cover all these songs in order. But as I've already mentioned the last song on the album, the song Rammstein itself, when you get to the ending of this one, and you get to the beginning of Rammstein, it's basically like all of a sudden everything else in the middle is just kind of like this all fell in between. Because musically it kicks off the same way as it kind of ended on the other one. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, we're going full circle. This is awesome. And then the song Rammstein itself, man, I still to this day love Rammstein. And when we go see them live in August, I really hope I get to hear them play Rammstein. Rammstein is one of 3 songs, maybe 4 off this album I absolutely want to hear live. Sadly, you know, this album alone is from 1996. 25 years old. This album officially makes them eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Not that that's going to happen, but it does, and they should. They absolutely should get in there. It'll never happen. But, damn. Der Meister. The Master. This one, this is a great song when you're listening to the album. Really enjoy listening to the album. Really get it going. But, after the first track and you get into this one, it's not, for me, it's nothing special. It's nothing great. It's nothing fantastic. Now, Rammstein is always courting controversy on their albums for one reason or another, okay? I will get into it with each individual album. Now, first off, the guys got accused of going very Aryan-looking with this. This is one of 2 album covers. This is not the album cover that a lot of people have in North America. This was the, I believe, classified as the more racist album cover. Just because they whited them all out and they gave them all severely white flesh, which comes up to the next song that we're going to get into. Now, the actual album cover, the alternate one, I think, was a variation of this. The actual whole flower, I think, is what I want to say it was. If I can find a picture, I'll bring it up online for you. Now, the reason why I say white flesh is that's actually the English title for the next song. Weissfleisch. Weissfleisch? I'm sorry, I know I'm saying that wrong. Now, this one, because people just hear white flesh, and some of the other songs that are, other words that are in here, like the use of the word gigolo, for example, for some reason, people got the wrong concept and thought it was racist, but the reality is it has nothing to do with racism at all, and it's really it's an S&M song. You could basically look at it as the light, gentle, early tiptoes into kink that came from Rammstein, you know, a band that eventually came out with a song, Flat Out Pussy, you know, so, well, spoilers. Alright. Good tune. Not a bad tune. Enjoyable when it's on the album. Is it a song that I go out of my way to listen to? No, it's not a song I go out of my way to listen to. But it's not a bad song. Like, any song on this album, I don't go out of my way. When I say I don't go out of my way to listen to it, or I don't put it on a mix or anything like that, let me be very clear. I put this album on from beginning to end every time. There is not any song on this album I ever skip, okay? This album, I just play the hell through. There's just certain songs I pick out to go into mix compilations instead. Which brings me to the very first song that absolutely is on my Rammstein playlists every single time. 25 years later, this baby comes on, and every part of me goes full-blown pyro. We are talking Asha zu Asha. Asha zu Asha. Alright, Ashes to Ashes. Now, once again, English translation doesn't do this song justice, because it's Asha zu Asha und Stab zu Stab. So, ashes to ashes and dust to dust is the chorus line. But, just watching live concerts, I mean, they haven't played this song live that I'm aware of in the last few years. I'm really hoping for it live. I am praying for this baby live, man, because I just want to see the flames kiss the sky in this monster open air venue. Well, they're going off on Asha zu Asha, man. Like, I'm 43 years old. I'm too old to want to go hit the pit, but this one comes on and I kind of want to go hit the pit, man. Might break myself going in there, but oh, that's a pit song. Oh, I love Asha zu Asha. So much intensity in the song. Like, even though this is a studio album, man, you can hear the explosive energy in this, the flames, the heat. Oh, this song gets you. It gets you so good. Now, one of the cool things sometimes with Rammstein is the lyrics can be close enough to English that when you listen to it, you can actually pick up certain things without having to be German or speak German. And the next song is a prime example of this, okay? The song is Simon, or Seaman, you know, very, very close. And the very first line, now, when you listen to the bass riff, for starters, the bass riff, variations of this bass riff have been used when I've played in bands. I've mentioned a song before called, Shiver Me Timbers that my band used to play. And the bassist did this great little bass riff that made it really sound like a boat going over water. And as much as I want to say that it was incidentally or accidentally possibly stolen from here, I know for a fact it wasn't. Not even close. My ex-wife was the bassist, and also she enjoyed Rammstein. But that's not the point. This was not an album that got played in the house often enough for something like that to happen. But the bass line in here has this great water flowing, and then you got the regular music over top. It sounds great. But the very first line, the German line, is "Come in my boat." So, which literally translates to "come in my boat," you know. Sorry about the bad singing there. You know, I am not Lil Tinderman. Or sorry, Till Lindemann. Sorry. Always flip those around. You can definitely tell that this is a song about being on a boat, on the water, on the sea, stuff like that. It's very beautiful. It's very pretty. And when it's played live, it used to be the song that the keyboardist would go out into a raft and would actually float around in the crowd on the boat. It was awesome. Such a simple thing. Such a simple thing that had such a great effect live. You know, at least on the Live aus Berlin concert, which Yes, I will be covering that album as well. I have to as part of my story. Now the next song is also a huge major song for me. Love this song. Cannot go without this song. I really hope they still play this song live, and I really want to hear it live, and oh my god, if I don't get to hear it live when I see them in August, I am going to be upset. But we are talking about Du riechst so gut. Oh! Which translates to, you smell so good. Now, it's really funny because my son loves Rammstein, which is why I'm taking him to go see Rammstein in August. One of his absolute favorite bands. At least when it comes to real music, I don't count electronic produced music as that. I'm a bit of a snob that way. So, you know, I've gotten to take him to see Iron Maiden. He loves Iron Maiden. Rammstein is next on the list. AC/DC probably isn't going to happen. Those were the three kind of big bands that I kind of got him into. Rammstein specifically, I remember when he was a kid, he used to watch my video collection all the time. And he'd watch it so he could see the English lyrics as well. And he would master that accent and everything when he'd sing them. And that kid could sing Rammstein. And we're talking, like, he was a little kid, you know, like, he grew up with this stuff in the house from the time he was 2 years old, you know. I was always playing it. So he comes down one day after seeing the lyrics for the first time for Du riechst so gut, and he goes, it just sounds so weird when you think about it in English. And he's sitting there going, you smell so good. He goes, and you know, he didn't understand the concept, even remotely close to understanding the concept yet, of how when a woman smells so good, or, you know, just that perfume that smells so good. I have this insane ability to pick out Chanel Mademoiselle anywhere, because I think it is one of the most incredible smelling perfumes ever. Like, it is absolutely amazing and enticing. And I had an ex-girlfriend who used to wear it. Unfortunately, I'm also highly allergic to it, especially to the touch. Breathing, it doesn't affect me too bad. You know, I'll get stuffed up. But if you run my regular viewers, I always sound stuffed up. But it actually burns me if it comes on contact with my skin. My skin goes really, really red, like it's been chemical burned. So I'm very careful with it, you know, but I absolutely love the smell. It's a classic case of something that you absolutely love being incredibly poisonous to, or something like that, right? But because of the smell of that, and I knew about the smell being, oh, you smell so good, because I mean, there are more than one woman in my life where, you know, they've had a smell that just makes me go, whoa, yeah, and, you know, constantly conjures warm, fuzzy memories. And I mean warm, fuzzy memories, not, you know, naughty, fuzzy memories. That's a whole different you smell so good kind of thing. Not going on here. So, Du riechst so gut. I love the music behind this one, everything. It is an absolute favorite song. It's got this great tempo, this great pace. Everything with Rammstein has great pace, but this one just has this great chase to it even. Go watch the official music video, man. You can feel every part that happens in that music video, you can feel throughout the song. It is fantastic. Even when they get into the cool little breakdowns and stuff like that, oh, so good. That is followed up by Herzeleid, The Old Sorrow. It's an alright song. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's not a song that I would push off to anybody. It's not a song that I would recommend to anybody. It's not, you know, it's a song on the album. Next one, Heirate mich. This one's cool too. Heirate mich. Hi. Great chorus. And it works wonderful live. And basically, it's just Marry Me. One thing that is fantastic about Rammstein is the opera, the stories that they can bring to their music. Even if you don't understand it, you can feel it in there. The way it's sung, the way it's done, the way it's projected. Absolutely wonderful. And Herzeleid is one of those songs where really, I mean, you look at the English translation of the lyrics, and you can definitely get the story and the symbolism and whatnot like that. But you don't even need that to really get into that song, you know, like it just really kind of takes you onto this own journey of its own, you know, which is one of the reasons why I love Rammstein after all these years, whether I have the English lyrics in front of me or not. Herzeleid, the title track of the album. Now, when people think of Rammstein, it's the fire, it's the explosions, it's the death, it's the sex, it's this, it's that, it's the everything. Did you know that this album is called, in English, Heartache? That's right, folks. If you do not know anything about German, and you've never read any English translations, this album is called Heartache. Think about that one for a moment. Alright? Just for a moment, think about that one. And basically, I'm going to actually give you the lyrics to this one, alright? Ready? This is the title track of this album. Save each other from heartache, for the time that you are together is short. For even if you are united by many years, one day they will seem like minutes to you. Heartache. Save each other from togetherness. Heartache. That's the core of this song. And good tune. Good tune. You know, you can understand why it's even the album, to a degree, why it's the album's title track. But really, I mean, Rammstein, not what you would think of when you think of Rammstein. You know what I'm saying? Lechiet, I know I'm pronounced that wrong, sorry. Spawning time is the English translation. My biggest thing with this song is there's a part where there's crying in the background on this one. Baby cry and whatnot. And the way the music sounds and everything like that, it sounds 100% like it's a Typo Negative song. And for the life of me, I can't remember which Typo Negative song it is. It's off of Bloody Kisses. It's one of the very last songs on the album. And every time it throws me off. But it does it to me when I'm listening to Typo Negative too. I'm like, where do I know this? Is this Rammstein or something? So I do it all the time. And I know I talked about it when I was listening, or when I did the review for Bloody Kisses. So if you go watch the review, you'll find out which song I'm talking about there. But that's always where I get hung up with this song. And it's always like, wow, did they rip off Typo? Or is this just purely coincidental? Because, I mean, how much touring of Germany did Typo do at that time? I mean, they know they did some, but not to that extent. Alright. Now we're back to the last song on the album, Rammstein. This song just closes out the album perfectly. There is no better way to close out this album. There is no better song on this album. And of all the songs on this album, Asha zu Asha, Duri Sugu, and Rammstein are the three songs for me off this album that I absolutely have to have. Have to. Mandatory. I cannot go without those three songs. Hell no, man. Hell no. Those are awesome Rammstein songs. They have carried up over all these years. I still love them as much today as I did back then. And Rammstein is actually an actual air show. There was a huge accident with the planes. And the whole song is about that. And it's really kind of disturbing in a polite way. I'm gonna cover the lyrics on this side. Rammstein, a man is burning. Rammstein, the smell of flesh lies in the air. Rammstein, a child is dying. Rammstein, the sun is shining. Rammstein, a sea of flames. Rammstein, the blood is coagulating on the asphalt. Rammstein, mothers are screaming. Rammstein, the sun is shining. Rammstein, a mass grave. Rammstein, no escape. Rammstein, no birds are singing anymore. Rammstein, the sun is shining. Rammstein. Now, the air show where this happened only has one M in it, whereas, you know, the band uses two M's. Not sure why they do that, but yeah, it was at the Rammstein Air Base, and it was a disaster, and that is where the band took their name from. Same idea as Led Zeppelin, taking their name from, or using the Hindenburg on their first album cover. You know, so as much as people want to say it's courting controversy right there, is it really? Is it really? I mean, is it really 25 years after Led Zeppelin released an album with the Hindenburg crash on it to call your band a release after an airshow disaster and a really like fire? Alright, folks. That is everything I'm going to say here about Rammstein. I personally believe this is a must-own album. Alright? I do. I believe if you are a metal fan, you should own this album. It is some supreme metal. If you love music in general, you should own this album. It is wonderful. This is Rammstein, Herzeleid. You are watching this in August, even though it's recorded in June. Let me know what your comments are. Let me know what your thoughts are. That's what the comment section is for. There's that subscribe button. There's that like button. There's the little notification bell. Link to Patreon. Peace. Love. Take care.